The airport terminal buzzed like a disturbed hive, announcements echoing, luggage wheels rattling, voices clashing in 1,000 directions. But amidst the noise stood one woman no one seemed to notice, as though she were furniture placed out of the way. Amelia Hart, mid-40s, immaculately dressed yet unassuming, waited with measured patience at the customer service desk of Skylux Airways, ticket in hand, expression politely firm. A flight attendant, barely paying attention, popped gum and scrawled her phone. When Amelia said softly, "Excuse me, I believe there's been a mistake with my seat," a few nearby passengers glanced over, curious. The attendant didn't look up. "Ma'am, I'm sure you misunderstood. Maybe next time book earlier." A couple behind Amelia snickered. A businessman muttered loud enough to be heard, "Some people just can't afford first class and make a scene." The laughter that followed was sharp, mean, unapologetic. Amelia didn't raise her voice. She simply repeated, calmly, "I paid for first class." That was when the second attendant, hearing the exchange, joined in, but not to help. "Look, sweetheart, first class isn't for everyone. You can't just walk in here expecting upgrades because you're unhappy. Maybe economy suits you better." More chuckles. Someone even pulled out their phone to record, sensing entertainment. The humiliation was deliberate, slow and simmering like a pot no one believed would boil over. A security guard approached, prompting whispers, "She must be trouble." Amelia lowered her gaze, not in defeat, but in restraint, because power unused is power misunderstood. She handed over her receipt, proof undeniable, but they didn't even bother reading it. The flight manager, a tall man with arrogance balanced like a badge on his chest, waved the paper off. "This looks fake. We've seen scams like this before. If you can't afford business class, don't try to steal it." His voice carried across the terminal like a public sentencing. Laughter exploded. Even children stared. Amelia stood still as glass in a storm, her pulse steady. "Is this how you treat paying customers?" she asked. "No," he replied, smirking, "just customers who try to be something they're not." The words hit like stones, but she didn't flinch. Not yet. The humiliation continued when the manager suggested security escort her out, and cameras came up like vultures. A woman beside her leaned in with faux sympathy, whispering, "Next time dress a little richer, they won't question you." It was the moment Amelia could have broken, cried, shouted, stormed out. But she only nodded, eyes glimmering with a truth the room didn't know existed. "Very well," she said, voice like silk over steel. "Shall we involve higher authority then?" The manager laughed. "There is no one higher here than me." "Are you certain?" she asked, and for the first time someone hesitated. It was slight, but noticeable, like a thread pulled from a stitch meant to hold an empire. She stepped aside, pulled out her phone, and dialed a number no one recognized, speaking softly. "Good morning. Connect me to corporate oversight, please." Silence rippled outward, brows furrowed. The manager crossed his arms, amused but uneasy. Amelia continued, "I'm at gate 37. I'm requesting immediate staff review. Employee misconduct and discrimination. Yes, it's urgent." The hubbub around her shifted, from mockery to confusion. The attendants exchanged looks. The guard frowned. The manager puffed his chest, trying to mask the growing crack of uncertainty. "And whom should I say is calling?" the voice on the phone asked. Amelia's gaze sharpened like a blade. "Tell them Amelia Hart, majority shareholder and owner of Skylux Airlines." Time stopped. The manager's smile fell. The attendant's gum turned to ash in her mouth. The businessman who mocked her choked on silence. Every sound in the airport seemed to bow beneath the revelation. And suddenly, no one was laughing. Chaos replaced arrogance in a single heartbeat. Phones slipped from hands, snickers evaporated, and the same people who dismissed her now stood like statues awaiting judgment. The manager's voice cracked. "Owner?" He stumbled toward her, suddenly sweating in the air-conditioned room. Amelia did not raise her tone. Power didn't require volume. "Yes," she replied, "though today I walked through these halls as someone you believed beneath you and observed exactly how you treat those who don't appear wealthy." The words echoed with the weight of centuries of class and racial prejudice wrapped in polite uniforms. She had arrived unannounced, intentionally, testing the airline she inherited after her husband's passing, a company she vowed to rebuild with dignity. She wanted to see it from the ground, untouched by recognition, and what she found was poison hidden behind smiles. The manager tried to speak, excuses tumbling like dominoes, but Amelia lifted one hand. "Not another word. You laughed at a customer, dismissed her evidence, and attempted to remove her from a flight she purchased. That alone is grounds for termination." Sweat beaded on foreheads. Tension thickened like fog. The same cameras once aimed to shame her now recorded the fall of giants. Executives arrived, breathless, pale. "Miss Hart, we weren't informed you were coming." "That was the point," she responded. "I needed truth, not performance." She turned to the audience, the laughing passengers, the whispering watchers. "How many times has this happened to others who lacked the power to speak back?" The silence was guilty. A woman near tears admitted, "Too many times." Amelia nodded, then pointed gently toward the attendants. "Every uniform here represents this company, and today you showed the world who you believed deserved respect." She didn't shout. She didn't curse. She didn't need to. Her presence was thunder disguised as rain. She requested every staff member involved be relieved from duty pending investigation. Some cried. Some pleaded. Some stood frozen in denial. The manager collapsed into a chair, realizing the woman he belittled held his career in 2 fingers. Amelia then asked the one question no one expected. "Do you believe in second chances?" The room exhaled. Even those who harmed her stared, stunned. "Growth is not born from punishment, but accountability," she continued. "You will attend bias retraining, customer care reform, and work under supervision until your behavior changes. You may keep your jobs, but only if you earn them as if you were starting from nothing." Many broke into gratitude, trembling, humbled. The man who mocked her earlier stepped forward, ashamed, voice shaking. "I judged you. I'm so sorry." Amelia held his gaze. "Your apology matters only if it changes how you treat the next person who stands where I stood." The airport felt holy, like something had cracked open and light seeped through, illuminating every flaw. Amelia's strength wasn't power, it was grace. She didn't destroy them, she rebuilt them. That was the moment respect replaced laughter, and understanding replaced arrogance. When Amelia walked onto her flight, her rightful first-class seat, no one dared speak, but every eye followed her like pilgrims watching a miracle. The same attendants who dismissed her moments earlier now bowed in sincerity, offering service they should have offered from the start. Not special treatment, just humanity. And for Amelia, that mattered more than comfort. As the plane ascended, she gazed through the window at clouds brushing against sunrise, glowing like lessons written across the sky. Across the aisle sat a young girl who had seen everything, the laughter, the humiliation, the reveal. She whispered, "I want to be like you one day." Amelia smiled gently. "Then be kind when no one is watching. That is where real power lives." The plane landed to applause, not for wealth or status, but for integrity. Reporters waited, passengers recorded, and her story stormed the world like wildfire. Not because she owned an airline, but because she revealed what respect truly means. It wasn't the money that changed the room, it was the truth. And so, when Amelia stood before cameras, she spoke not of revenge, but of reform. Skylux Airlines launched new training, better treatment protocols, and customer rights systems. She turned humiliation into transformation. The airport that once laughed at her now honored her, and Amelia walked through with the same calm grace she began with. Only now, no one failed to see her. They saw a leader, a woman, a force. And somewhere deep within every witness lived a permanent reminder. The person you underestimate may own the very floor you stand on.
If this story shook you, inspired you, or even made you rethink how we judge others, don't let it end here. This is not just entertainment. It is a mirror to society. Every time we laugh at someone who seems less, every time we overlook a voice we think unimportant, we take part in a cruelty we often fail to see. Today, you witnessed what happens when dignity stands its ground. If Amelia's story touched you, comment below what moment hit hardest. Was it when they mocked her? When she revealed her ownership? When she chose growth over revenge? Your voice matters. Your perspective matters. Share this video so more people witness the power of respect. Not wealth, not status, respect. A single share could open eyes, shift hearts, or remind someone to treat others with humanity. And if stories like this move you, stories where truth rises louder than prejudice, where character outweighs privilege, subscribe. Because here, we tell stories that challenge, heal, awaken. We don't just watch. We feel, we learn, we change. Be part of that. Like this video, share it with purpose, and leave a comment that someone else might read and carry with them. You aren't just an audience. You're a voice in a rising chorus against arrogance, judgment, and inequality. Let's make that chorus impossible to ignore.